Every autumn, I reach that point where my wardrobe starts to feel a little flat. The pieces that I loved last year don't feel quite as exciting anymore. But at the same time, I don't want to buy a whole new wardrobe or start all over again because that is both unrealistic and unnecessary. So this year I have focused on a few small but thoughtful updates, pieces that work perfectly with what I already have and make what I do own feel more exciting again. They've given me a bit of an update, a bit of a refresh, and have made my outfits feel new again. Today, I'm going to share 5 ways that you can update your wardrobe without starting over. Before you even start thinking about how to update your wardrobe, you need to remember what you already own. It might have been a whole year or so since you have really played around with your autumn winter pieces. Maybe you took them out of your wardrobe when it came to spring summer. And so this is the time to refresh your memory, maybe have a little bit of a reorganization, try things on, and just have a play around in your wardrobe. And maybe you'll find some hidden gems that you've forgotten about. There's no point adding new things into our wardrobes when we don't even really know what we have. Next, we can start looking at inspiration. However, I do think there is a right and a wrong way to look at inspiration online. There's really no shortage of inspiration online. We can scroll through thousands and thousands of images on Pinterest. But sometimes when we are looking at open-ended inspiration with no sort of focus in mind, we can start getting a little bit bogged down by all of these images that we're looking at, not really seeing if there are any connections within those images, and everything can start getting very muddled and blurred into one. When that happens, you sort of just lose focus and it's just not very helpful. I think it's more useful to focus on an era or an aesthetic that you know that you like. And for me, whenever I start to get a bit in my head about style, one era I always fall back on and I always know that I will be able to draw inspiration from is 90s minimalism. For me personally, I just love 90s fashion for 2 reasons. Firstly, I just think it is so timeless. Those looks from the 90s can look just as great now, which I think is amazing. And secondly, it just reminds me that I can create really great outfits with things that I already own. I just love these really clean looks that focus on fabric and the importance of something fitting you perfectly. And it's just a reminder that the pieces I already own are fine. Especially as we enter into the new season, you know, when it's going into autumn, winter, or when we're going into spring, summer, there are so many new clothes coming out in all the shops that it can just be really overwhelming. And not only do you feel overwhelmed, but you get this feeling of, I have to buy something new. So reminding myself of these looks from the 90s that are just so simple and clean, and they're looks that I really do gravitate towards, just reminds me of what I prioritize, I guess, which is like good fabric and good fit. And I'm re-inspired by the pieces that I already have. After all, I've bought them with my own money. I liked them for a certain reason, and there's a reason why they're in my wardrobe. Most of the time, that is enough to satiate my craving of wanting to buy something new. But sometimes it's not. And sometimes you do just need to add 1 or 2 new items to refresh everything for the season. And I think that one really great way to update your wardrobe so that you feel a little bit more current is with accessories. A handbag is a perfect update because it works with your existing wardrobe. And it's a really great way to incorporate current trends without feeling too trendy. So I do have a new handbag to share with you. This absolutely gorgeous brown suede handbag from Parisa Wang, who are sponsoring this portion of the video. So Parisa Wang let me choose something from their collection, and this handbag just spoke to me. I just knew that it was going to be absolutely perfect for this autumn winter season. And I actually had to wait a few months before I could make this video because this bag keeps selling out. They even asked me, do you want something else? And I was like, no, this is the one that I want because it is just amazing. I just think that this suede, this warm, dark chocolate brown, and this shape is so perfect for this season and beyond. But not only is this really beautiful to look at, it's also very well made and really functional. As you can see, it has this elongated east-west shape, so it is really on trend, but is also really practical. You have two slip pockets which have a magnetic closure, so they're easy to get into, but they're also very secure. And then as you go into the bag, the zip is really, really smooth to use. And the inside is very spacious, and it also has another slip pocket on one side. It's really sleek and elegant, and it fits a lot inside. I can get my phone, my wallet, my sunglasses, keys, even a small water bottle or notebook. My Kindle fits in here, which is perfect because I don't go anywhere without something to read. And the craftsmanship on this is really impressive as well. The stitching is very clean. The edges are finished beautifully. And even the hardware has a refined and minimal feel to it. It's made from LWG certified British goat suede. Goat suede is known for being very soft, lightweight, and supple, but still very durable. So this suede is very soft to the touch, but it still holds its shape. The LWG certification means that the leather has come from a tannery which meets rigorous ethical and environmental standards. So you know that Parisa Wang have done their due diligence when choosing where they want their leather to come from. Parisa Wang makes luxury handbags like this more accessible by partnering with manufacturers that use the same brands such as Prada and The Row, and by completely cutting out the middleman. You can see that on the website, this handbag uses the same tannery as The Row, and it's under £400. So we are getting the Row leather quality for a fraction of the cost, which is something I think we all want to hear. And this brown suede just hits all the right autumn trends for me this season. So thank you, Parisa Wang, for sharing your handbag with us. You can use the code LOKE, L-O-K-E, for 12% off your order, and I will have everything linked in the description box below. And with that, let me show you a couple ways I'll be styling this bag for autumn, but let's be honest, this bag looks great with anything. Brown and grey is probably one of my favorite color combinations. And so I've just worn this bag with a grey V-neck knit. And I've also paired it with these brown corduroy trousers that I thrifted last year. I love all of the textures in this outfit. We've got the suede, we've got the corduroy, we've got a cozy knit. This outfit is just everything that autumn is all about for me, and I love it. For this next outfit, I'm really excited to finally get my wool skirts out again for autumn winter. This one is from Cezanne. I'm pretty sure they have this every year, so I will link to it in the description box. But I just think the fit is amazing. I love all the details like the pockets and the belt. And I've worn it with my Uniqlo crew neck. So I'm wearing it here in an extra small so that I can wear it like tight and close to my skin. But I also have it in small and medium so I can wear it differently. Paired it with this leather blazer on top. And I just think this is such a cool outfit, everything all together with the leather and then the suede handbag. And then I just want to say that these are outfits I have worn before, but it's the addition of the handbag that updates this outfit and makes it feel slightly more current. So another way to update your wardrobe is to maybe add in something that makes a statement. Something that is so different to what you already own, but at the same time also manages to work with your existing wardrobe. And so this is my new favorite jacket. It is from Rixo and I want to wear it every day. It is velvet, it has gold embroidery on it, and it just fits so perfectly. I don't own any velvet jackets, and so this just adds a new texture dimension to my outfits and to my wardrobe. It's honestly very different and very out there from all the kind of like plain blazers that I normally wear. But at the same time, I think because it's black and it's gold, it still kind of fits in quite seamlessly to my existing wardrobe. And I think that's why, for me, it's really important to have that really solid foundational wardrobe so that if you do want to add in slightly more statement pieces such as this, then it's quite easy to do so. This jacket has honestly just made my everyday items so much more interesting. It's made getting dressed feel really fun. And I'm really excited to style this a lot more. I mean, I've just styled it here with, plain black jeans and boots, which I think is such a great sort of like, dinner outfit. And I can definitely see myself getting a lot of use out of this for the upcoming festive season as well. But at the same time, I also styled it in a more dressed down way. So I've put it with my kind of slouchy jeans. These are my Levi's 50190s. These are like the baggiest jeans I own, plus a pair of loafers. And I love sort of dressing it down, but still looking very stylish. I just think this is such a great jacket, and I'm very excited to continue finding ways that I can style it this season. When it comes to finding a statement piece for your own wardrobe, maybe it's not a black velvet jacket that works for you. Maybe it is like a pair of printed trousers or a leopard print coat. I would love to own a leopard print coat one day when I find the right one. But it's just about finding what is something that is slightly more out there for you, but still will work with your existing wardrobe. And sometimes one item that is so different to what you already own can just breathe new life into all of your outfits. Updating your wardrobe doesn't have to be as big as adding a statement piece or adding a new handbag. It can be as simple as a pair of socks. I love adding a pop of color to my wardrobe, and so I have added these red socks to my sock wardrobe. And even just adding this tiny touch to outfits I've worn before has made such a difference. Especially as my wardrobe is made up of a lot of neutrals, adding a pop of color, especially in the form of red for me personally, because I just love the color red, is just something I've been trying to incorporate more in my outfits, and you might have noticed that this year. But for autumn winter, I'm doing that in the form of socks. And also in the form of a scarf, because I bought a red scarf at the end of winter last year. And so I haven't had much chance to wear it. I haven't yet broken out my winter coats because I try and delay that for as long as possible. But I will break out this scarf just to keep me a little bit more warm, and also to add just another dimension, another texture, another thing of visual interest to these simple outfits that I've worn so many times before. How many times have I worn jeans, t-shirt, and a blazer? But now I just have the addition of this red scarf to make it feel a little bit new again. And I like having those little updates here and there. So I know that sometimes I talk about not following trends, but sometimes looking at trends is a really great way to get inspiration, to style things in ways that maybe we haven't thought about before. So right now, flannel and plaid are trending. I mean, groundbreaking flannel and plaid for autumn, but they are really having quite a trending moment right now, even though it's a very seasonal item. And so because of this, I'm seeing lots and lots of new ways of styling an item I've had in my wardrobe for years, but just in a new way. I think the way that we're seeing flannel and plaid being styled now that is different from before is that they're being styled in slightly more elevated ways. So I do have some inspiration that I took from Pinterest that I tried to style myself. So firstly, I saw this image, which has a flannel shirt tied around a blazer. And that is something I never would have thought to do myself until I saw this image. And so I've tried it here. Again, I'm wearing my slouchy blue jeans. I did try this with a slimmer pair of jeans, but actually the slouchier pair worked better. And then I have my trusty blazer that I've had for years and years and years, white t-shirt from With Nothing Underneath. The picture, she's wearing sandals, I think, open-toed sandals, but yeah, it's too cold for that. So I decided to go with ballet flats because I thought the whole look was very slouchy, a little bit grungy, everything is kind of oversized. And so I thought a ballet flat would actually work really well, which I personally think it does. It kind of helps it feel a bit more refined. I think a trainer here or even something like a loafer might look too clunky. I think the ballet flat is perfect with this look. And it's given me something fresh with all these items that I've had in my wardrobe for years. So looking at trends is not necessarily a bad thing. So next we have this image where she has her shirt and then a lace or silk skirt laid underneath. And we saw a lot of this over spring, summer with like silk scarves and lace detailing. There was a lot of that over summer. And now this is kind of bringing it into autumn. Now, the way I've done it is kind of a work in progress. This isn't necessarily the final outfit, but the whole idea of this is to look at inspiration and have a play around. It's not necessarily going to always give you like the best outfit, but it's just fun to, have a play around. So I don't have like a long silk and lace camisole. So I've taken this Doan skirt that I have. And the thing about getting inspiration is that any inspiration I find that means it gives me ideas on how to style things in more ways is good in my eyes. And so this might not look the best, but it's given me kind of more ideas to work with. So anyway, I have kind of fashioned this long skirt. I rolled it up so the elastic sits here and I've kind of worn it as a top. Then I've got the flannel shirt on top and I've paired it with these kind of silky trousers these are from Reformation. And then I've worn these shoes from Dear Francis. These are the Harlow heels, something like that. And whilst I don't think this is the best outfit, what I do really like about this is that it's bringing the flannel shirt into like a more stylish territory, if that makes sense. When I think flannel and plaid, I think everyday, casual. I don't think about styling it for a more dressed up look. And so I love that inspiration photo kind of opened my eyes into not being so like narrow-minded about this shirt. And then lastly, I saw this image and I don't know, it's so simple, but I just really loved it and wanted to recreate it. So leggings is not something I think about wearing out of the house unless I'm going to the gym, but I really like the way she styled it in this image. So she has paired the flannel with I don't know, I'm assuming it's a cashmere jumper. And so I did the same. And I already feel like that elevated the flannel a bit more by pairing it with a really nice, like cozy knit. If I were to wear leggings and a jumper with nothing tied around the waist, I think that the proportion of that whole outfit is kind of off because everything is very flat. But with the addition of the flannel shirt around the waist, it's given a better proportion to the whole outfit. Not only this, I like that the flannel shirt covers my bum because I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't feel completely comfortable just walking out the house with leggings. Unless I'm just going straight to the gym, then I think that's okay. But as like an actual outfit, leggings is just not something I think about wearing. So I like that this has kind of given me something completely new to wear that I wouldn't have worn before. But overall, I like this. I think it is casual. It's a little bit sporty. I've worn it with loafers just because I thought the shape of the loafer works really nicely with this outfit. So that gives it a little bit of structure. It's not too casual. And it's all these kind of elements that come together and I think make a great outfit. So I truly hope that this gave you some fresh inspiration as we go into autumn winter. Thank you so much, Parisa Wang, for sharing your absolutely gorgeous handbag with us. Everything will be linked in the description box and you can use Loke for 12% off. As always, thank you so much for watching and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.